Hello, and in this short little introduction video, we're going to be going over the market comparison tool. This tool or this video is really going to help you understand the tool and be able to kind of understand the logic that's associated with what we've built here to be able to help you on a day-to-day basis. This is the main screen that you're going to get to when you first get into the tool. And from here, you're really going to start to select your demographics associated with the report. The tool is already preloaded in some of the selections, but I'll show you how to adjust those. The first here is you're going to select your location. You can drop down, you would then select the state, and you can either search for the state or scroll through alphabetically to select the state you want to run. So we'll just select Alabama. The second piece here is the demographics that you're going to choose. We default to Plan G, non-tobacco, female. And then the age selections, we've pre-selected this as 65 through 75. You can select all, or you can click select all and then click it again to clear it out if you just want to run certain ages. But that's going to be the default setting, is it'll select those 11 ages for you automatically. So if that's just the base report you want to run, you don't really ever have to mess with any of this. And the last piece here is this effective date. Say you wanted to run a future effective date, you can choose to type it in. So you can type in if you want to do previous years or future years, or you can click this button to be able to select to see future rates. That will become important. Say if a company was changing rates on 7/1 and you wanted to see or run this comparison based upon those 7/1 rates, you'll need to change that effective date in association with the rates you wanted to look at. And then lastly here is you'll select the highlighted company. You don't have to select a highlighted company if you don't want to, but if you wanted to be able to say, okay, well, I want to look at the rates compared to Assured Life or any of the companies associated with the state that you've selected, this highlighted company drop-down will adjust as you select a different state. Different companies are offered in different states. Therefore, if you were to switch this to California, this selection will change to be associated with the carriers in California. So we'll go ahead and select that, and then you just need to click Generate, and we'll switch over to what the results page will look like. Depending on the state that you run, it will take a little bit longer. So say Texas takes a little bit longer than Georgia, and Georgia takes a little bit longer than Delaware. The more zip codes that are associated with it, the longer that the system will take to run. But what we have here is the results page associated with it. Up here above, we have our search options, or what we can consider our quick quote section. So rather than having to go back and forth and every time you wanted to adjust or switch a plan or go to a new state, you would have to start at that main page. We've made that easy for you here, where maybe you want to switch your highlighted carrier, you wanted to switch your state or your plan, you can just do so right here on this main screen. Click Generate, and it'll rerun the report for you. In terms of the company selections, we've pre-selected 12 companies in association. I would say this, it's been a range of 12 companies. Any company that has a #1 rate for any of the 3-digit zips based upon these selections, we've auto-filled in there. If that selection doesn't meet total of 12 companies, it will backfill those companies back in to the best companies of the average rates after those initial set of companies have loaded. So for example, if we're loading and only 10 companies have a #1 rate for the demographic and zip code selected, we will then backfill the last 2 companies with the best next companies associated with that state and demographic combinations. And so that's how we've built the companies that you're seeing here. It could be more than 12. There could be companies that could be 15 companies that have a #1 rate. We'll provide all of those companies that meet that criteria on the system, which is why if you switch this from F to G, you might get different companies showing up. If you switch this from G to N, you'll have a different set of companies because companies are more competitive at different plans. And so that's essentially how we've come up with this company list. The company drop down here can be sorted different ways. We can sort by the best rate, meaning it's going to rank the company's best rate or best average rate down to the least average rate, or you can switch this over to alphabetically. if you'd rather just see the company drop-downs A through Z. And so you can make those adjustments as you go along, which better meets your needs and what better fits your eye. But that's how this is structured, and the companies are structured in terms of the pre-selected settings. On the results page itself, you'll notice here up in the top left-hand corner, we have an household discount selected. It will pre-fill the household discount or pre-select the household discount for you. So if you wanted to, say, look at non-household discount rates, you would just uncheck that. It will reload the document and will show you and display new rates. That also very well may change the companies that are associated here. A company may have a number one rate with the household discount applied. If you uncheck that, that company may not have a number one right now and therefore are not in the base selections. So just be wary of that as you make adjustments or changes to the settings. It will affect the results of the companies you're looking at. But at the base selection, the household discount will be on. And we also have a direct-to-consumer button. There are a handful of companies that are only DTC products. Their rates are included in the system, but are only included if you include this direct-to-consumer rate. Many of those companies don't have a number one rate, so most of them will not be shown on the base selection, but they will be available in the drop-down if this is included. But let's go to the results here. You see the company names in the top, kind of the top column here, and then the rating class. This would be if a company has, maybe their number one rate is associated with a substandard rate or a level 1 rate or whatever have you, depending on the aids that you're running in combination. That's where that will populate. Many of the companies don't have a rating class, so that will be blank, but we wanted to accommodate for those carriers that do. We also have your proposed rate increase tabs here. So let's say you wanted to change this to 2, you wanted to change this to 3, this to 5. You can then adjust those proposed rate increases. Click this build table or rebuild table, and it will adjust accordingly. So you don't have to run the report each time. You can change all the settings that you want. Click rebuild table. It'll then build you in all the changes or all the rate increases associated with the numbers you typed in there. And then you can click reset table. If you'd rather decide you want to clear it all out and go back to 1, maybe you've made a lot of changes, and rather than having to click in each box and change it back to 1 and rebuild the table, you can reset it. It will reload back to its factory settings. The household discount percentages here, so they'll show you what percentage has been applied to the rates below, as well as the discount category. If it's standard, if it's roommate, you can see here for Assured Life, they don't have a household discount in the state we're running, so therefore the discount category is blank. So pretty self-explanatory there. And the last piece here is effective date. And so this will show you the effective date of the rates. They will be read if it's within 90 days of being a year old or it already is a year old. We're recording this here on May 3rd, and so therefore June 1st of 2018 was within 90 days, and therefore it's going to be read, notifying you that that's coming up on a year anniversary, and very well could be changing in regards to the rates soon. Beyond that, we have our results here. We have our results by zip 3, by the city name. We also include the population for said city in zip 3, and then the ages selected. If you only selected 2 or 3 ages, that obviously shrinks the results. If you select more ages, it expands the results. And then the company rating, and this is associated with that highlighted company that we selected. So for these demographics and this 3-digit zip, this company right now is ranked 14. So you can tell where that highlighted company is associated with the rest of the plans or companies. And then here we have the results. The yellow is going to represent who has, at this column, the lowest rate. Humana Insurance Company in this area has the lowest rate at 98.18. We scroll over, we can see that Southern Guarantee has the lowest rate at 99.5. So each column, or each row in each column, will have some type of yellow coloration associated with it to highlight who actually has the lowest rate based upon the grid and demographic selections that you've done. Also with this, we've split it up. There'll be a darker line associated with the different zips in the different states, or the different cities, I mean. So you can kind of organize and classify that information better. Lastly, here with the results page, we also have a sort feature. So let's say you wanted to sort by ascending or descending, or you wanted to be able to select only certain zip 3s that you wanted to see, or certain city names. Depending on how you click in and out of this, it will populate different results. And so with that, you can begin to filter or organize the data however you'd want, just like you could do in an Excel document. We've essentially added the Excel features like that into this document and allowed you to be able to filter accordingly. You can also export to Excel in this information. So you can click this an Excel export button. It will then render the exact results you're seeing here. It will display exactly as it's seeing here. So you will have all the coloration, all the company names. It'll display exactly as it's displayed here, and it will show up on the tool in an Excel document here that you can then click and open up. If you wanted to take the data outside the tool and keep it on your own computer. That will also show you all the demographic results. So if you wanted to be able to know, okay, I exported this Excel document, but what was the state was this for? What ages was this for? What plan? It will have all of that information there in the Excel export. But that's really the nuts and bolts of the tool. If you wanted to start fresh and brand new, you can click this new button here, and it will take you back to this main page, where you can then start again if you wanted to clear out your selections in association with what you're running. But the tool will update in real time. So this tool will feed in real time to all the rate changes that happen in the market. So if we're loading new rates in tomorrow, those rates will be live on this tool. So you don't have to wait a certain amount of time in association with the tool, or you don't have to wait in a certain amount of time for the tool to get updated. It all updates in real time as we update our rate databases. That includes new carriers or carriers that have left the market. If carriers leave the market, we're removing them from the tool in real time. If carriers enter the market with new rates, we'll provide them into the tool, and those will be available in the states that they're currently live in. So there's nothing you have to do for updating it. You can access this anywhere you have an internet connection. So there's nothing you have to download to your computer. There's nothing you have to download or a service that you have to provide. As long as you have access to the internet connection, you can access this tool. As always, if you need help or there are certain things that you don't understand or you want to report a bug or anything that comes up, you can always click this contact support button, submit a ticket, and that gets looked at right away. And so I hope you enjoy using this tool. You can always reference this video if you need help in the future. And I hope you enjoy and looking forward to using it. Thank you.